Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Well, today we're going to talk about my 8 months on Turo, my honest experience, okay? You're going to be see me looking away sometimes because I wrote down some things because I don't want to miss anything out. Let me turn my screen a little bit more so I can see. So it has been 8 months since I've started my tour business, and today I'm going to be sharing what is working and what has not been working, my real experience running a car rental business. Okay. So, why did I get started? What motivated me to start Toro? So, honestly, since we're being honest, my husband is the one who decided to start this Toro business. He has been talking about it for years. I think he has been talking about it probably 3 years, 4 years prior to us actually starting the business. So, we have been doing it for 8 months now. So, that's what motivated me to go ahead and just be about this business with him. He put in all the research, and when he said that he was ready, I was just ready with him because I knew that he went ahead and did all the research that was necessary, and I trusted his judgment. Trusted basically, right? Now, the goals that we set at the beginning. So, the goal that we set was that for the first year, we want to get to at least 5 vehicles. So far, we have 3 vehicles, and we're in the process of looking for another one. So we're about to have 4 vehicles. So far, the goal that we've set, we're working on it, and with God, by God's grace, we will get to those 5 vehicles. So the goal is to create passive income. The goal is to see if this is a lucrative business and if it's something that we can do full time. So far, so good. Well, the next question is, how is it going? So far, it has been consistent. The booking and earnings have been consistent. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It is what it is. It is consistent. The cars are being booked, and we are earning some passive income. The next question is, I will talk about the earnings in depth another time on another video, but it has been consistent. What have you done to stay booked? So we do take good photos. We do give quick response, and we try to keep the vehicle as clean as possible. And the reason why I put try to instead of saying do is because you have different guests, and with different guests comes different wear and tear, and some things can be fixed right away and some things take a longer time to fix. So with that being said, we take good photos. We respond as quickly as possible to each and every one of our guests. Okay. So we have had repeat guests, and we have had mostly. So say for out of 100, we have at least 95% 5 stars. Yes, probably probably 98 5 stars. So we have been very consistent with the 5 star reviews. So the challenges. So this is where you don't get 5 star most of the times, because you do face challenges, and as I said, each guest is different. So in the area of customer service, you have to be flexible and be able to adjust to each guest. Okay. So the biggest challenge is smoking. Guests do not abide by the no most of or guests, even my guest that gives me 5 star, most of them, they do not abide by the no smoking rule. And guests have a way of saying that they didn't smoke. So with Turo, you have to have mostly physical proof that the guests have smoked in the vehicle. Saying that the vehicle smell like smoke or stuff like that doesn't work, and the guests know this, and when you ask them, they're going to say no, they didn't smoke in the vehicle. So that's the biggest challenge. I do not know why it is so hard. If you book the vehicle for 24 hours, just do not smoke in the vehicle, step outside the vehicle and smoke. But a lot of people will not treat their vehicle the way that they treat other people's vehicle. It's not their vehicle, so they're not going to treat it with care all the times. So that's that. Um, and next, I have more than one challenges. The one that got me a couple, like 2 gray hairs more than what I have already, is this happened probably last week. A guest rented one of our vehicle for 24 hours and took the vehicle for 4 days extra. And when we were trying to contact this guest, they would not reply. They did not reply to text messages. They did not reply to call. Well, the calls go straight to voicemail, and we got Turo involved. They did not respond to Turo, so Turo decided to get the authorities involved, and that's when they decided to bring the vehicle back. And that's when we got a 1 star because the guest was disgruntled, and they gave us everything bad on that list that they could have found, but that was just a retaliation review, and it's not okay. But you know, I don't know, I should be the one that was upset, but because we did miss quite a few bookings because of that. We did lose because of the guests keeping the vehicle longer than what they booked it for. And when the vehicle was returned, it was in a deplorable state. Dirty diapers, pills, um, smoking, trash, you name it. But yes, that was the major challenge for this so far. Insurance claim and vehicle maintenance. So insurance claim, it all depends on the package you choose. When it comes on to insurance claim, we do have private insurance for the vehicle along with Toro insurance. So we chose the 80/20 package. I think we recently changed it, but my husband did that part. So 80/20 is where the deductible would have been, I think, probably seven something. So if something wrong, would have to pay that amount of deductible, 720, or I don't remember exactly what it is. But if you'd like to learn about the packages, I can talk about that another day. I'd prefer to go through the insurance, have the guest pay for it instead of going through Toro, because that deductible becomes a lot. Say for instance, the damage is only $1,000, would have to pay that 750 deductible still, or whatever the case is. So in certain cases, it all depends on what works for you when it comes on to insurance claim. When it comes on to vehicle maintenance, we do not have much problem with that because we stay consistent with taking the vehicle to get a proper oil change. um oh, the thing timeout, to get an oil change, to do line and balance and stuff like that. We stay consistent with that. But sometimes you'll have a guest will do the maintenance today, and the guest will get the vehicle later on in the evening and say that they have a problem with, oh, the car run out of gas too easy, or they feel something when we just got maintenance on it. But either way, we'll just apologize to the guests and let them know that we did get the maintenance done on the vehicle. However, if they're not comfortable with the vehicle, they can always return the vehicle, and we'll get the vehicle check out. And I do take the vehicle back to have them look at it. Most of the time, the mechanics are saying that nothing is wrong with the vehicle, but each guest feels different thing. So we just listen to the feedback and do the best that we can to, satisfy each guest. Next thing, managing scheduling. Oh, my back is hurting me. Managing scheduling, cleaning, and customer communication. So, for the beginning of the business, I was the only one that was on ground and managing the scheduling, doing all the cleaning and communicating with the guests because my husband was away for work. So I was the one doing all of that. It was sometimes pretty challenging. When I had one car, it was fine. When I have two car and then the time for them to go out and come in is back to back, I have to, work that out, get them clean, get them ready for the guests. When it comes on to communicating with the guests, I respond to each of my guests all the time. It doesn't matter what time. I reply to my guests and I try to help them as best as possible. If I do not have the answer, I send them somewhere where they can get the answer. So I do that for my guests. So managing the schedule is pretty open for our vehicles. I do not put much restriction on the scheduling because restriction uh, will cause less bookings. So we have it pretty open as it relates to the scheduling. But I have to have people helping me here and there. Like I have kids and it was just me and the kids. So I have to have grandparents watching the kids while I go clean, so and so and so. But you have to make that work for you. Okay, lessons I've learned. What would I do differently if I could start over? The first thing that I'd do differently is well, I probably wouldn't do that differently because the Toyota was my personal vehicle. The only thing with the Toyota is that the inside of the Toyota, it's light. The color is light. It's cream. It's brown, so it's easily stained, and you can easily see the dirt um on the seats. So I'd probably have that covered when I was starting because now the seats are all stained and look real ugly, but we're getting covering for the seats now. And at first it was a little hard when I don't smoke and people started smoking in the vehicle and stuff like that. I had to snap out of it and be like it's just business, so I have to take my emotions out of it. So learning to go in the business and putting your emotions aside is very important because people not treating your vehicle well and so on and so forth can become stressful. Tools or habits that have helped. So when it comes on to tools, we do have lockbox for each of our vehicles. We do have GPS for each of our vehicles, and I do had phone holders in each of the vehicle just to make it easier for the guests and to so that they don't have their looking for their phone in the cup holder, looking for their phone over here, which could cause accident with the phone holder. I think with it being right there, giving them direction or answering a phone call or whatever the case is, it may be more safer. So we do put the phone holder in there. We do put the lockbox for self-service pick up and drop off because that's how we do it. And we do have trackers for instances like the one that I explained earlier, where the person kept the vehicle for over 4 days. We were able to track the vehicle and we were able to let the authorities know where the vehicle was. So the next thing, importance of customer service and responsiveness. It's super important in any business whatsoever that you're dealing with other people or guests, that you communicate with. Communication is one-on-one business. You have to be able to communicate with your guests. You have to be able to respond in a timely manner, because it's very important to do that, so that the guests know that you're invested in what you're doing. You care about their safety, you care about their question, to let them know that they're appreciated and valued and all of that good stuff. So I do communicate with my customers as much as possible. What's next? Am I planning on expanding my business? Am I planning on changing prices, or am I planning on upgrading vehicle? Yes, we're planning on expanding, because so far so good. It has been consistent. Despite the minor challenge, well, the challenges that we have had, they're not minor. Um, Business is business, and no business is easy peasy. So we are planning on expanding and praying that things continue to be consistent for us. Changing the prices. So far, Turo does the pricing for us. They have their matrix that they do their supply and demand within the area, and they set the price based on supply, based on demand. Usually in the weekends, the price go up a little bit more, because the vehicles are in demand during that time. So they do that for us. Would it be easier for me to do it? I haven't checked into that as yet, simply because I think, based on my understanding, if I decide to do the pricing on my own, I am not able to go back if I need Toro to do it for me. So I'm not ready to cross that bridge as yet, because if I do get into the pricing, I will have to go into doing major research to find out the supply and demand within the area and price my vehicle accordingly. I do not want to overprice my vehicles. I think that Toro is doing a good job. Some people, like family, friends, and stuff, they'll be like, "Oh, I think it's being priced a little bit too low." But when you come on to business, you have to be practical. So so far so good when it come on to the pricing. I'm doing it through Toro, so I'm gonna stick with that for now. Am I planning on upgrading the vehicles? Not right now. So far, the economy vehicles are working for us. We live in an area where working class people, and these vehicle, the Nissan Altima, Sentra, and the Toyota, those vehicles are working very well for us. So we're gonna stay with those for now. Maybe later on in the future, when we can afford to, or just to experiment, we might upgrade on the vehicles. Okay, any strategies you're testing for more growth, such as ads, partnerships, or delivery? No, so far the wheels are turning, and how we're doing it is working for us. Just through the Toro app has been tremendously consistent. We haven't done any ads or decide to partner with anyone. We're just doing this for us, for our family, for ourselves. And eventually I will expand by doing ads on different platforms and so on and so forth, but we haven't crossed that bridge as yet. Okay, advice for new host. Okay, so if you decide to start a business, I suggest to start with one vehicle and learn the process. I suggest, if you can use a vehicle that is your vehicle, that would be best for you, because you have the ability to choose the time. You have a calendar, you can choose the time when you want your vehicle to be available or unavailable. So I suggest just starting with one vehicle at first and just learning the process that way. And I think you should prioritize being reliable, and your vehicle being reliable and as clean as possible. Cleanliness is very, very important. And even though you give your guests your car clean and spotless, do not expect to get it back clean and spotless. Be ready to adapt to feedback and market demands. Feedback is very, very important, and you're going to get some feedback that you do not like. And when you do not like something, you fix it. So if a guest complain about a sound, or if a guest complain about what you, if it's something that you can fix, you fix it, because your guest is the person that is renting the vehicle. That is how you're making your money. So it's important to try to adjust and adapt to these feedbacks. And if you're doing something good, continue doing it. So that's important. As it relates to market demand, start with one vehicle, and then you'll be able to adjust to the market demand depending on where you are at. If the vehicle is going good and you have enough money to get more vehicle to fit in that demand of the market, then you can do that. What next? So I think I've covered everything. So, what I'd like for you to do for me is to comment down below. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask me. If I see that it's a repeat question, I'll go ahead and do another video to help you to answer that question as it relates to Turo. Okay? Go ahead and like and subscribe to my video. And I do have TikTok and Instagram. I have not been talking about Turo on those platforms, but I will be soon. And you can find me at Shanae Campbell. I will attach the links in this video. Okay, and that's what I've been doing on Turo for the past 8 months. If you have any question, go ahead and ask me. So this right here is my 8 months on Turo and my honest experience. Thank you for listening. Bye now.